was, can that be reduced? And right now, I'm going to take it from right before we do the root. So the negatives there are totally stressing me out, so I'm going to get rid of those. And something you can do with the original problem, let's see, let me scoot this over a second, is if the signs look like they're coming out really nasty, you can bring this 9y squared over and bring the 36 over, and then you get to the same place that I'm about to. But since we have all those negatives and they are just not looking very friendly to work with, I'm going to multiply by -1 over -1, which is just 1. But what it does is it cleans up those signs. So negative times that makes that positive, and I get a -36, and then over +9. And that just looks a lot easier to work with. And so now I'll go ahead and do my root on both sides. And that gives me y equals plus or minus. So now this is 4x squared minus 36. There's a couple of things that could happen there. And both involve factoring, and it's when we factor, we want to do the greatest common factor first. This is a difference of squares. We could factor it that way, but it wouldn't actually be fully factored because there's a common factor in both terms of 4. So what I'm going to do there is take that 4 out of both of those. And that's going to leave me what, 9? And this is x plus 3, x minus 3, but it doesn't really help me out at all, so that's why I'm not worrying about it. And then that's still over that 9. And then remember that we have the property that says if I have a square root of ab, if it's comfortable and useful, I can think of that as root a, root b. And in this case, that would be useful and comfortable. I'm thinking of a multiply right there, so I can think of this as the square root of 4 times the square root of x squared minus 9 over the square root of 9. And there's also the same idea of the a over b. I can think of that as 2 separate roots as well. And so here I'm running out of room. Let's get that over. So square root 4 will make a, oops, I should have plus or minus right there. Plus or minus 2 x squared minus 9, and then over 3. And then probably you're having some little thoughts about, does this do anything else? It doesn't. Think about if you had the square root of 25 minus 4. What you have to do on that is go 25 minus 4, make that a 21. Square root of 21 is not anything good, and it is definitely not the same thing as the square root of 25 minus the square root of 4. So that's what you would be doing here if you're having that thought. If you weren't, don't think it. This is as simplified as it can be, and that would be